You know, here's where I started, and I really want to get your thoughts on all of it and kind of wrap it up in a bow, because if what happened to Roger Stone and Paul Manafort can happen in this country, and then we have learned a lot about the minute Donald Trump comes down that escalator and this grand conspiracy, and I hope that these people will be held accountable. I think I've covered that grand conspiracy more than anybody. I've had Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, I've had John Solomon, Greg Jarrett, Sarah Carter, Todd Blanche on this program. But get to this, you guys are like icing on the cake because you embody what it means to go through it. And this is what the president's been through. From the minute he came down that escalator, they have tried to destroy that man. And they have thrown everything they have at him. And Russia collusion was bullshit. FISA warrants, FISA abuse was very real. They ruined one guy's life, right? Carter Page, to get the backdoor Trump. Then you go through the first Ukrainian impeachment and it just all the way on through. And then 38 felony counts out of a legal non-disclosure agreement, never heard of before. Judges that won't even give a proper valuation of Mar-a-Lago, the Mar-a-Lago raid. Do you want me to keep going? You guys know this stuff intimately. And my question is, if we do not get to the bottom of this, is this the future for the next Roger Stone, the next Paul Manafort?
If we lose the 2026 election, this whole process will begin all over again. I think that's abundantly clear. These people don't care about the facts, the law, the Constitution, the rules. They are so deranged by their hatred of Donald Trump and the threat that he poses to the system. The fact that he is a reformer. They're blind with their hatred. Do they have a plan for America? Do they have a plan to create jobs? Do they have a plan to bring down gas prices or food prices or create jobs or expand housing and make it more affordable? They have no plan. They run on one thing. We hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a Superman. What he's gone through, try to keep him off the ballot, try to throw him in jail, try to impoverish him.
They tried to assassinate him.
Tried to assassinate him. Look, I worked for Richard Nixon. I worked for Bob Dole. They were tough guys. They were very tough guys. Neither one of them nearly as tough as Donald J. Trump.
I don't think I've met anyone in my life tougher than that guy.
But the scary thing now is they now feel empowered that they can do this because of what we've gone through. And so, as Roger said, they're not even pretending that the by-elections are about the people. It's about Trump. It's about Trump. And the goal is to get control of one or two houses and just start the process of going after him again on the same non-evidence.
Hakeem Jeffries has announced it. We're going to go after all these Trump supporters if we get back in power. Where's your positive plan for America? They don't have one.
This party, though, and you both talked about this earlier, there was a time Reagan would say to Tip O'Neill, is it after 6? There was a time you guys would battle with your competitor. They'd win a race, you'd win a race, we'll get you next time. It was a different atmosphere. I don't see any middle ground on a lot of issues. How do you have middle ground on secure borders or open borders? Defund, dismantle versus law and order? How do you have sanctuary cities, states versus, non-benefits for people that don't respect our law, border sovereignty?
Because they're not driven by policy. It's power. It's power and to be able to use the system to leverage themselves. That's all it's about. And Trump is an existential threat to that power base. And he's proven it. He's beaten them twice or 3 times, straight up and says it. And so to them, there is nothing beyond getting Trump.
But this is different. This is now the party of AOC, the Squad, Mamdani, Graham Plattner, El Sayed, Tellerico. This is not your old school Democrat. You've been battling them. You've been battling them your whole life.
But they're driving the process on the Democratic side.
And they could dominate the party through the primary.
And they're going to.
The Democrat Party of John F. Kennedy and Harry Truman is dead. The party that believed in free enterprise and capitalism and patriotism and a strong national defense and anti-communism, Kennedy brothers were staunch anti-communists. That party is dead. It no longer exists.
But now that it's a radicalized party, because I'd be negligent if I didn't pick your political brains because you guys have been at this so long. Now that they've been radicalized to this extent, is that not a huge factor? They won't condemn the guy. The closing argument in 24, Nazi, fascist, racist, Gestapo. Okay, the mantra, wash, rinse, repeat. Now it's a guy with a Nazi tattoo. I'm not that worried about it. And then all the other controversies, Syed, Tallarico, Mamdani. I mean, how do they get power back with those views?
Because they lie. Look what happened in the Virginia governor's race.
That was a lie.
That was a lie.
Whole thing.
And they got half of the country believing the lies. And so they're fighting, or not half, but maybe 30%. But what they're fighting for is just another small percentage. And you lie, and then you go back to your game. The problem is, and Bernie Sanders probably should have been nominated twice. But it wasn't part of them. But now they've taken over the whole game. And Sanders is not even in the right place, although they use him, because the radicals are so beyond even Sanders.
Yeah.
And they could, and if you look at the primaries, look what's happening. Look who's winning the Democratic primaries.
Who?
It's the left.
Is it going to be Kamala? Is it going to be Gavin? Is it going to be? You said something earlier. You said AOC could beat Schumer. Totally agree with you in a heartbeat.
Easily.
I could see her being the presidential nominee.
Well, from your mouth to God's ear, but because I think she'd be pretty easy to beat. But that's where the center of power is in the Democrat Party today. And so they'll cherry pick issues like gas prices or food prices and so on. But beyond that, they have nothing whatsoever to run on.
But you look at the institutions that are part of the Democrats, and they've been radicalized too. The teachers' unions, the labor unions. Where in the Kennedy days or in the 80s and 90s, those institutions, certainly the unions, would sort of bring back some of the radicalism. But now they're just as bad. They're part of the Amen choir.
You see, I say all progress stops if they win.
So 100%.
You agree?
Yeah, I think the country's done.
100%.
Let me ask you both this last question. I think it's important. Based on your experience, and you both, you know what? You both have survived. You're both strong. I'm amazed at your inner fortitude and strength. But nobody should have to live through what you two have lived through. The hell that you've lived through. You both kind of, in a way, maybe it's because I know you, you kind of seem unfazed by it, but you've got to be fazed. What is your admonition warning to America?
Never give up. Never quit. This is the greatest country on earth. It's worth fighting for. And for those who want to say, the 2026 election we've lost, wrong. Those people, the president's got it right. Those people are panicants. The fight has just begun. We have an agenda. We have a record. We have something to run on. We have a deep belief in the country. They have nothing but hatred. So I'm looking forward to the off-year elections because I think we're going to gain seats in both houses.
Do you think, this is a good question, do you think they'd come after you again?
Well, there are probably others ahead of Paul and I at this point, but they might get down to us on their list. It's possible.
It's possible.
No, I don't think about that.
I don't know if I'd want to.
I mean, because I'd rather think about winning.